It's one of the few circuits on the calendar where you've yet to get a podium. Do you enjoy driving here?
I love it, and actually it's not been such a poor track for me in terms of performance, so I wouldn't say the same thing I said in Budapest earlier this year. But for one reason or another, on the Sunday it never really went our way. But yeah, again, I mean, what happened in the past, I don't really think about it. And I'm sure that if we do everything perfect, we can be on the podium for the first time. And seeing how crazy of a weekend it can be sometimes, why not even better? So yeah, we'll see.
You touched on the pace of Mercedes there. Can we just get your thoughts on the Constructors' Championship? Ferrari 1 point ahead of Mercedes in P2. How do you see that battle, both this weekend and for the remaining tracks this season?
I think it's going to be very close. I think where I expect Mercedes to be very, very strong is probably Las Vegas. They were very strong last year, and I'm sure they will be this year. For the other tracks, I think it's going to be close. So yeah, and we are basically equal on points. There's also Red Bull in the fight, with Max especially, that picked up quite a bit the pace since the upgrades. I think it was in Monza, so it's going to be a tough last part of the season. But again, we have momentum on our side, and I hope it can continue as long as possible.
All right, thank you for that. Pierre, let's come to you now. Interlagos must bring back some pretty special memories for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been the most successful track for me since I started in F1. So yeah, I had my first podium in 2019, which was very special, and obviously that double podium last year with Esteban, which came as a very nice surprise, and very particular day, quite chaotic, but we managed to get on top of it.
Which of those two podiums meant the most to you?
In the first podium in F1 is always, it's unique because the first time you actually experience this emotion. So that was a pretty fun way to end a race, like the drag race with Lewis onto the line, etc. So that was very special. But definitely last year, two Alpines, two French drivers on the podium, in the way we did it was definitely unique, and definitely very emotional.
You haven't had the best of luck, let's say, in the last few races. Do you think the car is going to be more competitive here at Interlagos?
I don't think so, but I mean, we're well aware in the situation we are in. I think nonetheless we still give it our best every single weekend, and as Charles touched on earlier, this is the type of track where the weather can come into play. We've seen pretty wild races around here, so we know we definitely seem to have taken a step back in terms of performance, and we've seen cars like As, for example, bringing upgrades even in Austin when we stopped developing the car like months ago. But it's okay. We know we have another 4 race weekends where we'll try, and then after we'll be on to a different project. Yeah.
Stopped developing the car months ago, you've just said. Have you been at Enstone recently? And just give us your impressions of what you're seeing for 2026.
I'm very excited. So I'm kind of like in between two chairs at the minute, because obviously this year is extremely hard for everyone in the team, and we are not competitive at all for reasons we know, and decisions we've taken tactically. But at the same time, we still have 4 races to go, and hopefully all these decisions can be proven to be definitely worth it in 2026, and that's what I believe. I'm seeing a lot of good stuff for next year's car, a lot of work, a lot of motivation, but it's definitely a bit of a long season. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much for that. And Lance, let's come to you now. That really strong midpoint of the season, I'm thinking of those 7th places in Hungary, in Zandvoort, and remind me, where was the other one? Belgium? Anyway, since then, the performance has dropped away a little bit. Do you and the team understand where the pace has gone?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just some tracks where the car comes alive. The last few events, it's been more challenging for us. Just haven't been as competitive. No one stands still in this sport. I think other teams have brought upgrades and improved throughout the course of the year. So I think it's probably a combination of all that.
Can I ask you about something you said recently, which was you've never really been that comfortable in this year's car. Tell us about your driving style. What do you need from a racing car to feel comfortable?
I think there's just, some seasons, there's cars, you just have a better harmony, better chemistry, and it just, feels more natural to drive. Some years there's cars that, don't suit you quite as well, and it's just, more of a battle. Ultimately, though, I think, this year we just haven't been as competitive as, we want to be as a team. Like I said, there's some events where the cars come alive and we've picked up points, P6, P7, all, when the opportunities, have presented themselves. I think we've, managed to do a good job on some of the weekends where the car has been competitive, but, there's also been a lot of weekends where we just haven't been as competitive as we want to be as a team. So, 4 more races to go, and then next year is a new opportunity for everyone.
Are you hopeful this weekend at Interlagos?
We'll see. I mean, like Pierre said, the weather here is always a factor. You never really know what's going to happen. If it starts raining, anything is possible. But we'll see. I love coming back here. It's a great track.
All right, thank you for that. Let's now open this to the floor. We will start with the broadcasters. Who's going to go first? Yeah, David.
David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Question for Charles. Congratulations for the engagement. Great to see. This season, it's going to be really tight in that battle for second place. But if you do, as a team, leave Abu Dhabi as runners-up once again, is that good enough for Ferrari? Will you sit down at the end of the season and say, yeah, that was job well done?
It's not good enough. No, I think when you drive for such a team, the only thing that is good enough is to win. And but it's also true to say that we are against a very, very strong competition, and also teams that have a lot of history in the sport and that are very special in their own way. So it's not easy, but I think as Ferrari, and when you work for such an incredible brand, it's not good enough, and you've got to target for winning. Having said all that, considering where we've started the season and where we are now, it's a good season. It's a very good improvement throughout the season, as it's been very difficult at the beginning of the year to understand exactly in which way what did we have to tackle with this new car. But to now be fighting still for the second constructor should be our target, and for next year we'll target higher up for sure.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, who's next? Mara.
Mara, a question for Charles. Continuing the discussion about the second place in the constructors.
And in the constructors, so it's a very difficult questions to answer. I would love to win. I think it's really important to at least be winning once in a season where everything has been so tough. For everybody, the second place is not what's going to. We'll probably be happier as a team after a victory, but the second place needs to be our target, and we need to target both of the two things. So I won't choose between the two.
Okay, Craig.
Craig Slater, Sky Sports. Again, a question for Charles. I hope it's not too personal, but I just wonder about Alex and congratulations, and how much of a support is she in your professional life? How engaged is she in your life in Formula One?
I'm incredibly engaged, not technically, of course, but as all of us, I think we are all human, and I think we are all supported by the people that are closest to us. And Alex is the closest person that I have with my family, obviously, and they live the career just like we do, basically, the ups, then the downs, and they support us in the best possible way. And Alex has done that, since the very first day I met her. So she's definitely a very important part of my life, obviously, but also of my career and the way you manage the ups and downs.
And Leo, of course.
Yeah, he doesn't really understand about the ups and downs, but he's always happy, and that's good enough.
All right, thanks, Charles. Who's next? Yeah, Alex.
Alex Shakes F1 TV. Question for Pierre. You've scored all the team's points this year. When it's not going entirely to plan, how do you see the role of team leader, and how does it differ to a season when it's all going right?
That's a very good question. The way I see it is, I think the most important there were crazy hours, travel the world, to give us the possibility to race with the best possible equipment that we can have. And at the end of the day, I need to really see more globally about the 1,500 people that we have working at the track, but also working back at the factory, and especially knowing that we're on to something much bigger for 2026. So doesn't take anything away from me trying to put my best in the car every single time I'm in. Do I enjoy as much? No. But I'm also aware of the project that I'm working for, and also what's coming in the coming years. So I'm not losing sight of the big picture, and that's why for me it's important to be the main factor in motivation for every single individual we have in the team.
Pierre, you talk about motivation. Do you wish the team carried on with the development of this year's car longer than they did?
If it gives me better results next year, I literally do not care about this season, and it will be all worth it, because the reality is what we could have fought for this year is still not good enough for us. And these couple of weeks or months can potentially give us a head start on some other teams, and bring much better success, which is what we are seeking ultimately. So fully backing the team in what we did. It's a bit drastic, but sometimes to achieve greatness, you got to make these tough choices. Yeah.